President Bashar al-Assad performs Eid al Fitr prayers at Anas Bin Malek Mosque in Damascus. Al-Halaqi gets briefed on the situation of services in Kafar Souseh, the reserve bakeries and the fire extinction center in Al-Mazzeh. The Syrian Arab army targets terrorist hideouts, eliminating dozens of them, including non-Syrians in Aleppo, Lattakia and Damascus suburbs. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Eid. President Bashar al-Assad performed this morning Eid al Fitr prayers at Anas Bin Malek Mosque in al-Maliki neighborhood in Damascus. Performing the prayers with the President, two senior party and state officials, a number of People's Assembly members, the Mufti of the Republic, several Islamic scholars, and a multitude of citizens. The President was received at the entrance of the mosque by the Minister of Religious Endowments, the Mufti of the Republic, the Ba'ath Arab Socialist Party Assistant Regional Secretary, the People's Assembly Speaker, and the Prime Minister. The President and the attendants performed the prayers led by Sheikh Ahmed al-Jazairi. Following the prayers, the President listened to Al-Eid speech delivered by Sheikh Jazairi, who underlined the noble meanings of Eid al Fitr, referring to the importance of love and brotherhood among the citizens of the homeland and their unified efforts to ensure the country's prosperity and well-being. At the conclusion of the speech, Sheikh Jazairi prayed to God Almighty to protect the nation and bring about security and stability everywhere across Syria. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر. Prime Minister Dr. Wael al-Halaqi has stressed that protecting public properties is part of protecting the homeland and that the role played by the workers is no less important than that of any soldier defending the country, adding that the exceptional circumstances through which Syria is passing require constant efforts and readiness. Al-Halaqi made his statements while he was inspecting the work situation at the Services Directorate in Kafar Souseh, the Reserve Bakeries Committee and the Fire Extinction Center in Al-Mazzeh. He emphasized that the services and economy sector is stable despite the difficulties and challenges facing its cadres. Al-Halaqi listened during his tour to the workers' remarks and was briefed on the mechanism of their work to offer services to citizens. The workers stressed their constant readiness to meet citizens' needs and their stand on the side of the valiant army in defense of the homeland. On the occasion of Eid al Fitr, our people in Golan issued a statement in which they expressed their congratulations to President Bashar al-Assad on this holy anniversary, praying to God to restore stability and security to Syria and its people. The statement added that the people of Golan expressed their utmost regard to the Syrian Arab army and the great sacrifices they offered, wishing the wounded soldiers quick recovery. The statement condemned the massacres committed by the armed terrorist groups, the last of which targeted the city of Jaramana and the attack on the village of Mughar al-Mir, in addition to the repeated aggression on the towns adjacent to occupied Golan. The statement concluded by expressing full solidarity with the Syrian people and its determination to confront the armed terrorist groups all across the country. In Damascus countryside, the Syrian Arab Army executed qualitative operation in Sasa, eliminating a number of terrorists and destroyed their vehicles equipped with heavy machine guns and ammunition. The army also targeted terrorists gathering in Khan al-Sheikh, killing dozens of them. In Damascus countryside, 5 citizens were killed and 12 others wounded when terrorists targeted residential areas in As-Sayyida Zainab with mortar shells. A police source said that the terrorist attack also caused heavy material damage to buildings, properties and cars near the scene. The Syrian Arab Army forces have targeted an armed terrorist group in Dorin that belongs to Slonfe province in Lattakia suburbs. A large number of terrorists, including non-Syrians, were killed or wounded during the operation. Among the killed were Moroccans, Libyans and Tunisians, in addition to 3 terrorists from the so-called Ahbabullah Brigade. Our armed forces today destroyed an anti-aircraft artillery gun, heavy machine guns and terrorist hideouts in Aleppo and its suburbs. They also foiled an attempt by terrorists to infiltrate into the ancient part of the city, killing and wounding several members of the group. An official source said an army unit eliminated the members of a terrorist group in Al-Ramoun in Aleppo, western suburbs, and other terrorist gatherings in Khan al-Assad. Other army units eliminated terrorists who committed acts of looting on Haretan, Aleppo, and Anadan al-Dana roads, destroying their weapons and equipment. The source added that an army unit also ambushed a terrorist group in the surrounding of Fallaha factory near a Narab camp, killing all the members of the group and destroying their equipment and heavy machines. In Castello neighborhood in Aleppo, the army destroyed 2 vehicles with the terrorists inside. Meanwhile, a car exploded while a terrorist gang was trying to get it trapped near Ma'aret al-Artik. Several terrorists who were on the site were killed and their hideout was destroyed. UN experts filed a report to the UN Security Council in which they confirmed that the conflict in Syria is witnessing strong presence to al-Qaeda terrorists in Syria through the Iraqi wing, which recruits hundreds of foreign jihadis and sends them to Syria. The experts pointed out that the terrorist al-Nusra Front affiliated with al-Qaeda represents the strongest faction fighting on the ground and taking part in the massacres against the Syrian people. The UN experts called for including these terrorist attacks in Syria to similar terrorist acts committed recently in Boston, Paris and London, which targeted innocent civilians. It's worth mentioning that Jabhat al-Nusra has already claimed responsibility for most of these terrorist attacks in Syria. Now, the latest business and market news after a short break. Stay tuned.